10. Heibai Wushuang. In this rage, out-of-control moment, a demonic soul enters the body of the MC through his hand and somehow awakens something in him. It awakens a power not even he knew he had, changed his looks, and immensely increased his strength, giving him a more adult-like form than his normal child/young man looks. And the opponent he was struggling against before became a trivial obstacle in his path. Just by looking into his eyes, you could realize just how powerful he became. But also, through looking, it is clear that the same man you knew before is nowhere to be found with his serious, scary, dead inside eyes. Nine. Togainu no Chi. The story takes place in a world that has been completely ruined by the Third World War. An organization takes control of Tokyo and renames it Toshima. Now, in this city of Toshima, there are battle games that are held in the back alleys. These games are referred to as Igura, and they're overseen by this very organization. Many combatants fight for blood in this game, just so they can earn the ticket to go up against the tournament's king. However, there is another tournament like Igura, but this one is relatively less gruesome in the sense that it doesn't allow the participants to kill each other, and the use of weapons is also prohibited. The main character, Akira, is practically undefeatable at this game, but he ends up having to participate in Igura after getting convicted of murder in this other tournament. Eight. Cubex Cursed X Curious. C-Cube is a story that takes place in a world where supernatural curses aren't an anomaly. The main character is a boy named Minase Hazuki. He's a high school student, and for some reason he happens to be inherently resistant to curses. But his life takes an unexpected turn when his father sends him a peculiar black cube. It happens when he wakes up one day. He finds a girl named Fear standing in his kitchen, and of course, she isn't wearing any clothes. It turns out that she's the human form of that cube. And now that she's in Hazuki's possession, it's his responsibility to not only care for her, but also fight alongside her in order to defeat cursed instruments, as well as their owners. Seven. Muyo to Roji no Mahoritsu Sodan Jimusho. Muyo and Roji's Bureau of Supernatural Investigation. This is one of those anime that hardly anyone ever talks about. The story isn't anything revolutionary, and the same goes for all of its other components. However, even though it is good at best, this anime can be an unexpectedly pleasant watch. The story centers around the idea of spirit possession. There's a duo comprised of two youngins named Muyo and Roji. They're both experts when it comes to magic law, and if there's one thing that they do better than others, it's taking care of evil spirits. However, there are terrifying drawbacks that come with this responsibility. Will Muyo and Roji really be able to keep doing their jobs without any pitfalls? I'd say, if you're on the lookout for a less-known anime, this might be it. Six. Blade of the Immortal. What could be scarier than a professional and skilled assassin? An immortal one. For all the pain and sorrow Manji has caused after killing 100 innocent souls, a witch inflicted upon him an insect that will heal his wounds, no matter how tough they were, making him immortal and rendering him unkillable. In return of regaining his mortality, he'll have to kill 1,000 evil people to atone for the sins he committed before. He's proficient at using his dual-blade weapon as well as using the Sai and Shuriken to battle his enemies and defeat them. They're all skilled as him and serve as worthy foes, but one thing they lack is his immortality, giving him a heavy edge and advantage over his opponents. 5. The Sacred Blacksmith. Cecily is an aspiring swordsman dreaming of living up to the legacy her family have been holding for ages as the protectors of the city. Having inherited her father's sword, she fails in her first fight against an overwhelming, crazed foe that shattered her blade. And just as she thought it was her end, Ainsworth, the Sacred Blacksmith, jumped into the fight, broke his opponent's sword in half, and saved Cecily, only to disappear as quickly as he appeared in the first place. This encounter marks the beginning of Cecily's mentorship under the Sacred Blacksmith himself. 4. Noblesse. Looks like a teenage student attending school like anyone else. However, in reality, he is Cadus Etrama Rizel, the strongest vampire to ever live, and someone that you should never mess with or attempt to anger. And of course, don't ever make eye contact with him, unless you're kneeling. If he wants to, he can squeeze the life out of you like squeezing a freaking orange. His abilities allow him to manipulate blood and grant him skills no one can ever dream of. 3. To Be Heroine. This one is actually a sequel to the anime called To Be Hero, but due to the independent nature of the story, it also works well as a standalone. It begins with the heroine, Hanaya Futaba. She's been living an ordinary life up to now, but then the story happens and she unexpectedly ends up in another dimension. Now here's where it gets interesting. The one who summoned her is an 8-year-old boy, and what he wants is for her to fight the assassins that the other baby bosses send after him. Does this plot sound crazy enough for you? Though I should mention, this isn't just what this anime is all about. There's also a lot more, as you'll find out once you start watching it. It's a surprisingly well done anime, only 7 episodes long, and yet well worth it.
Two, Gleipnir. Next on the list is Gleipnir. It's a 2020 anime by Pine Jam Studios. This anime doesn't shy away from violence, and gore is one of its selling points. The supernatural elements employed in the anime give it a mysterious feel, and the action is very good too. There's a bit of ecchi, by the way. This seinen anime focuses on the life of Shuichi Kagaya, a high school boy with the ability to turn into a monster. On a fateful day, he saves a girl from a burning house, and he forgets his phone in the scene. This marks the beginning of his problems. After a series of events, he decides to help the girl find her sister, who turned into a monster.
1. Tokyo Ravens. With the Japanese trying to pull a fast one during the Second World War with the Onmyodo magic, the trick sure backfired the Land of the Rising Sun. However, with the magic now a much more refined and safe technique to practice, Harutora sure is jealous, since with Bakatora being what people addressing to him the most, he isn't the luckiest person out there, right? However, with words making him remember the promise he made to a girl in the past, he isn't hesitant at all to assist Natsume when something similar surfaces and makes them smell the destruction that's on their way soon. The way they twisted the plot later on in the show was exactly what cemented the show as something I don't want to count out.
And with that, we conclude our video for today. If you enjoyed this list, I want you to smash that thumbs up button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and press that bell icon to keep you notified of all our new videos. Also, comment down below on the anime you liked the most on this list, and if you're planning to watch any of them. And if you have any suggestions, place them in the comments as well. Until next time, see ya!
If you got a problem to speak out, I'm a cowboy and let's be by. Put Stein skate at the treetop. Berserk what I'm keeping on rewatch. Hunter, I freak out. When I'm in my room, you should keep out. I'm a ghost in the shell, push you through hell like gun grave. That's a story to tell if you